myself, I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. So many men sold away. And I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and faith. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his face. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
Guess who's singing?
But what puzzles you is the nature of my game.
Wow, I am here with Jim Loomis, and I just played Sympathy for the Devil with me singing. And as I was doing it, I thought, Ariel told me I should have We Are the World here. And I said, well, I'm going to wait until post-production. So you're going to see We Are the World, sung by me, really inspired by Jim Loomis, my wonderful guest. Hey, Jim, give me a hand.
Yeah.
You want to shake my hand?
Sure.
You see, even though this seems like radio, it's also Facebook Live. It's going to be Akaku TV, and it's going to be up on YouTube and on MauiNeutralZone.com, because you are absolutely a legend in our time. In my life on Maui, Jim Loomis is like the name of the man that stands for someone who came here as a pioneer from the mainland when Hawaii was young in its in us occupying, if you want to say that, right? When we came here, and you here and in love and aloha have really been, I want to say, the father of the community here from the mainland that has sprung up in Huelo and in Maui and has made an impression on our island and brought the whole world's spirit up. Now you're going to have to jump in, because all I'm doing is praising Jim Loomis, a man who, in the last, when did you write this book? 2 years ago?
Well, it was published in 2012.
2012. That just shows you how the years run by. Because I remember coming to the book signing, and I was so thrilled that you had the book, and you were sitting there up at the house, or I guess where you still are, there in Haiku. Huh? So tell me, Jim, Tales and Flukes from Life in the Trees, Saving the Cosmos Till Tuesday. Did I miss Fractal One? Is that part of the title too?
Yes. Saving the Cosmos Till Tuesday. Yes, I wouldn't want to go beyond that, but that's for the other folks to take over.
Well, I can't tell if you're being heard. Speak a little more. Say something more.
Okay.
Don't just answer my questions and jump on me a little bit. Meaning, feel free to kind of jump in. You have been a writer. I remember when you were living with a lady that I was involved around, many years ago, and you were writing probably parts of this book. What is this book? This is short stories and poetry and pictures and really an amazing compilation of writing.
Yes, I had written 600 stories, and when I had a heart attack and stroke, the family got together and decided that the book that I had written, called Strange Fluke, that won the Maui Risers contest in '94, was going to be
the Writers Contest. Right?
Yes, yeah, at the Kapalua, beautiful setting. Yes, I went up to receive the prize barefooted and wearing a malo, and had a wonderful headdress on, and I've just tried to depict nature as I go.
What year was that? Do you remember?
That was 94.
1994.
Yes.
Wow, that really sets a tone in me. I got here in 1988.
Uh-huh.
And you were already here numbers of years, yes?
Yes, I'd come over in 69 to see what was happening on Kauai regarding Taylor Camp. And that experiment lasted about 7 years, and had a lot of tree houses in it, and I came to Maui to do the same thing, to move away from bureaucracy as far as I could, and be able to live in a very natural setting with waterfalls and raise my kids there, and all that worked out. And I had taught for about 10 years, and I wanted to be free so that if anything came up that was where I could be useful in saving whales or dolphins or opposing plutonium trafficking, things like that, I wanted to be able just to take right off and leave the doors open and just see what had happened when I came back from my adventures. And so I was kind of a merry prankster eco guy.
And this was on the heels of teaching? Yeah, you were a teacher. Where were you teaching?
Yeah, I came from having taught 8 years, I think, in Culver High School in Culver City.
California.
Yes, and I had just yeah.
Huh.
And have you ever been to the auditorium there? It's a very beautiful auditorium.
Culver City High School Auditorium.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically, but
yeah, very, very nice, and it was created while I was there.
Wow.
And
I remember what I remember when I first got here was that I was kind of new to the place, and I was in Lahaina, and then when I met people on this side, they talked about coming out to Huelo.
Yeah.
And there was a guy named Jim, and he had some students that had come out and bought land around him. This is how it was presented.
Yes.
That was 88.
Yes.
Right? So.
Yes, that was Rick Bailey, and then Bill Whitman and Brian Whitman. Those are a couple of my students. Wow. And I just went to a 50th anniversary of that class.
Isn't that amazing?
And I was the teacher of the year, the first time a math teacher had become the teacher of the year. And I had just come from, in 61, I was selected to be part of a first global think tank for artificial intelligence.
Wow.
It was called Communication Sciences at that time, and it involved 3 universities, the 3 big M's: Michigan, Milan, Italy, and Moscow, Russia. Wow. And I was a research assistant for the guy that wrote the program called Prisoner's Dilemma. Merrill Flood was his name, and he's been credited with having saved the world.
Till Tuesday.
Yeah,
till Monday, probably.
The fact that we haven't had more nuclear wars all these years was pretty much due to his teaching that of mutual assured destruction, MAD.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been an activist. You've been aware of things going on in the world, and don't sit on the sideline. You're in the middle, and you do it. This is me talking.
Yeah.
You do it in a very fun way. Even when talking about destruction and end of the world,
yeah,
you put playful in it. You put education in it. You put your heart and your wisdom, and you reach out not to push it at them, but to make it available. I hold this hand that reminds me the first time I touched the camera from Akaku television. I borrowed it to come out to Zen's first birthday party.
Oh, no kidding. That was, well, no, that very...
Zen is grandson?
Yes.
And he's probably, well, an adult with, right?
Yes.
Wow.
He's about 4 years older than Shakina. And a wonderful man. Oh, my goodness sakes, what a wonderful character.
See, this guy has telling you, creating a better world. I think past Tuesday, you have those in your clan that are great representatives to be here and follow with you and all of us into a better world through our intention. I'm loving hearing some of these early stories, because you were the guy there in Huelo, and I met you and I thought, what a great guy. And this hand, you were holding out a bowl of star fruit, and I videotaped it among other things as I was growing into my Akaku television world. And then someone was doing an opening credit for my show, taking pieces from stuff, and you are introducing our television show on the video from the first 20 years of our existence, from that one moment, or however, 15 years, when Zen was 1 year old out there in Huelo.
Yes, and he's going back there to clean it up with his tractor now, so that he can be married there.
Well, at this place that, it's a really interesting, you're talking about there in Huelo. You purchased land long ago, right? And
yes.
So did you told Billy Whitman and Brian both?
Yes.
And Rico?
Yes.
And you guys had a spot there, right? If you want to know where the falls is, there are King's Pool, Queen's Pool, waterfalls. Where were you? You were out there in the middle of the perfect spot. How did the Hawaiian, where were they through all this? How did that play out? I always think, how did the Hawaiians, interface with you guys all these years? Did you have much contact?
Well, they're always welcome to use it.
Sure.
We the King's Pool itself isn't on my land. It's just off a few feet, and that's where that beautiful cave is, and that beautiful deep pool, and that little island. And it was I dove off the cliff there, and with a new friend that turned out to be the guy that made Fern Gully. Do you remember that movie?
No, Fern Gully?
Fern Gully, yeah. And he came back after 13 years. He said it took him that much time to make the movie. And he wanted me to be there for the opening of it, because I was the inspiration as to so I've
now that land that you're talking with, the King's Pool and the diving in, that is a spot where I want to say you say like Taylor Camp. You didn't really have a name? Did you guys give it a name? Your area there? You were just living in that style, I want to say, right?
Yes.
So life in the trees is representative of a free and open life.
Yes.
And where you're open to do anything because your roots are there, but you're free to go and deal with all kinds of things and anything that may come up from a free and beautiful way. That's many years ago. Those guys and you guys have created an amazing world. That house that you lived in there and the one that Megan lived in, I mean, I haven't followed the politics of it all, but I know that you had a beautiful home, I want to say, in the tree. What kind of tree was that? Do you remember?
That's a Ficus benjamina. I had pruned it when it was very, very young as part of a bonsai course that I was taking, and I moved it outside when it became too large, and it eventually became the house plant that I planted my house in.
It was a wonderful place. It
Yes.
was the most unique home I've ever been in.
Yes,
It felt like I was in a boat,
yes.
but I was in a tree, a Bodhi tree.
A Bodhi tree, exactly right. Yes, I had been influenced by the Captain Cook's ship that had come in from his first sailing around the world. And I went over to Oahu to be the guard on it overnight.
Well, I'm just, when I'm thinking of all that and thinking, there you had that, lived that, and then I remember going out and filming when the whole community came together to build a water tank. A great prototype way back in the way back.
Yes.
Of a community coming together and doing an extraordinary building project together.
Yes.
And you guys were so great with the land, growing things naturally and then extending, and Rico did more kind of planting things than you did, and Megan it was such a beautiful place in the community. You know Blue Mountain. I'm sure you know Blue Mountain.
Yes.
Blue Mountain's a guy and his wife have a community right now and an expanse of land in Haiku, the Sacred Earth Assembly. But I thought of your group as just from the heart community that just welled up from an inspiration of you. And through the years, I imagine you have a couple of partners over the years that have danced in and out of my life in different ways, and I always got more and more aware of just how wonderful you are. And then having lived close to you and being around there with you in Kihei for your Kihei stint, just you really just came on as being one incredible guy that the world needed to experience and see. So radio does not do justice. If you get this book, I'm going to put my glasses on. In fact, I was thinking this morning when I put these on, Elton John doesn't have a radio show, does he? Well, we're going to invite him. He'll be here on our show. You're welcome, Elton, by the way. And maybe, we'd love to have you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Well, this book has amazing words and amazing pictures. You were a swimmer also, yes, and doing rowing?
Oh yes, I was. I'm called the father of open ocean rowing and the father of deep dolphin diving, because I'm reflecting upon how early songs changed my life. And so I was living in Long Beach, California, when the nation's top hit tune was 26 miles across the sea, Santa Catalina waiting for me. Santa Catalina, island of romance, 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 romance. 26 miles in a leaky old boat. Anything will do as long as it will float. Time 26 miles across the sea and me. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. So what is there a young man to do but row over there? And so I rowed over there the first day after school, when school was out, and I would spend about 100 days doing nothing. But what the day presented to to me, and
that was, I saw it in the book there. You were the fastest rowing duo, and also you were going alone, huh? You and Diana rowed across?
Yes. I love rowing, and I was on the first rowing team at Long Beach State College. Now it's called University of California State, Long Beach. And I was asked to come back after I graduated with my master's. The head of the department wanted me to teach some courses and take the first master's degree in mathematics. So I came back, and while I was there, Buckminster Fuller gave a 2-week class in the art department building a geodesic dome, and he and I became close friends, and I promised him at the end that I was going to write a book such that he had pointed out that the cosmic cost of gasoline was $1 million. And so I said, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to become the first cosmic guardian trillionaire by writing a book that's going to drop 1,000 people out into tree houses with gardens around them that are not going to buy 1,000 gallons of gas. And so 1 million gallons
be avoided.
Yes, and so that made me a cosmic trillionaire, and that's what this book is. It's they're kind of bedtime stories for adults.
Well, it's available. How do people get this? Pretty easily?
I
Amazon and all the Barnes and Noble and stuff like that?
Gee, I'm not really sure. I'm not much of a marketer.
Well, we're going to make sure that there's some kind of way on our page that there'll be a link. But, look, I'm looking at quotes on this book on the back. I mean, this book, let me see what these guys say. At last we get to hear from this mind, this physicist of consciousness who has walked naked and splendid into the incredible opportunity that we call life. Each of his great little tales is a koan. K-O-A-N. What's a koan?
It's a Japanese word for a tale that has everything in it.
See, that was written by Paul Wood, who's a writer that many people, of course, here on Maui and other places know.
Yes.
And the next one. Heart-rending and mind-bending, these vignettes, woven together over a lifetime of epic proportions and synchronicities, are psychoactive. Each story is like a fresh bouquet of wildflowers, handpicked for soul travelers on the road of life. But be forewarned, as these stories simmer in your consciousness long after reading them, you might just decide to sell everything and take up residence in the warm arms of a banyan tree, says James Whittle. He got all kinds of initials F. Who's he?
Yeah, he's a dear friend that I rode to Lanai with, and we've been following one another as friends for a long time.
Wow. And then Daniel McCullough writes, Jim writes in fractals, infinite spiraling designs. By the way, I'm holding it up so the camera can get the title of the cover of the book, see, so people can be.
Yeah.
Taking you on a journey into his world, which is also ours, as the dolphins and whales have been conveying to us for thousands of years. He has also exhibited a relentless caring for life and our planet, painfully aware of the damage humans are doing, yet by grace of his innocence and goodness, still exudes a continuous stream of optimism and joy. A true dolphin. Jim's book is a gem. Well, I can't disagree even in a blink there. I hope that everyone will go out and check out this book. It is an amazing book. I'd say that and you did it in a nice size print so that even like me, I can see the words.
Yes.
Wow. And but this book to me represents, like you were just sharing in your stories, your life seems that it's so full and rich. Well, we're going to take a break for some of our sponsors and supporters and then come back for another while. And we can talk about things. We'll kind of lead wherever it seems like you'd like to talk about, Jim. I'm here with Jim Loomis, a man extraordinaire who is, I want to say, a mentor. I don't think you just sort of are there because of just who you are. I really thank you, Jim. And thank you for coming here to be part of this show. Let's see what they got in store. Our current main sponsor, I don't think it was mentioned at the beginning, is David Bryan, who is my actual brother, who is, he built a school from the ground up for people that didn't have the money to get a good private education in Los Angeles, New Roads. And he's also on Brave New Films. You see them out there and kind of investigating challenging issues. So we come from the same cloth, you and I.
Yes, my ex-wife Diana Dahl and 6 other girls started Island School on Kauai that has become the like the Punahou of Kauai, and there is a new book on it called Voyagers, I think.
Oh, well, we'll talk more about it when we come back. So you guys hang around. We'll be right back. Zone with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to sincerely thank David Bryan for his support. David was founder and head of school at New Road School in Santa Monica, California, and is the board chair at the Ojai Foundation and on the board for Brave New Films. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. here on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui, and again on Saturdays at 7 a.m., as well as on TV and on MauiNeutralZone.com.
Hawaii Youth Service Directory is online at 808youth.com. We envision a Hawaii where all youth are connected to the support they need to walk a pono path towards health, happiness, and abundance. 808youth.com is a free, easy-to-use online directory funded by the Office of Youth Services. If you're looking for a family-friendly event, check out our events calendar and connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The Neutral Zone, with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to thank Maui Arts and Music Association, Treemakers Foundation of Maui, for their support. Since 1991, with hundreds of television shows and their MauiArtsandMusic.com website, they have championed self-sustainability on Maui. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. and replayed Saturday at 7 a.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
Aloha, I'm Amora St. John, inviting you to join me every Friday at 11 a.m. when I'll be talking story to some very gutsy women. Women going for their dreams, women who have children and grandchildren, and the wisdom of the ages. Women who are courageous and filled with spirit. That's Gutsy Women Radio, Fridays at 11 a.m. and replays on Saturdays at 2 p.m. here on KAKU Radio, 88.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Jason Schwartz, host of The Neutral Zone. KAKU is a listener-supported station. This means that all of the great programs you hear, like mine, are sponsored by you as well as our underwriters. If you would like to help keep the voice of Maui talking loud and clear, go to kakufm.org/donate today and give. And don't miss The Neutral Zone Mondays at 11 a.m. on 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Hello. Well, while we were off and listening to what's going on in the world a little with our sponsors, I had a guest, Jim Loomis. He was here earlier, but we now have a different character. Who am I speaking to now?
This is Xantar Buru.
Ah, Welcome to our show, Xantar.
Yes.
You want to continue to put on your outfit? You're welcome to. Xantar, when I first met Xantar, it was years ago. In fact, it was in Kihei. And you were writing a book. In fact, you were with a lady who was just so excited to be with Xantar. And your writing was very prolific. Some of that's in this book, Xantar. Did you sneak it in?
Yes. Yes, there are several. So, is my surfer there? Because this is honoring. Is there a surfer right here?
Let me look. You mean on your skin?
No. It's.
Oh, there he is. Yes, now he's there.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
so that's
as he's manipulating his hat. There's a little surfer. He's now. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay. Turn your head a little bit just to see that our camera can see it. There we go.
Okay.
We'll take a picture afterwards and post it. So, Xantar, you obviously have changed wardrobes or headdress, I guess.
Whoops.
Fix it. Use two hands. Be comfortable. You want to wear it? You're welcome to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having. This
wardrobe.
is.
This like Janet Jackson, a little wardrobe malfunction?
Yes, it is.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, and this is not the comb over. You understand? This is the double beard dreaded volcano over for all our Kilaueans here, where we've had so much damage to our homes on the Big Island. And so we are in sympathy and supporting as best we can those wonderful people that lost their homes to the Kilauea lava flows.
I was just looking at to see why it was popping a little bit. Yeah, okay. Well, Xantar, how are you unique or different, or maybe you're not, than our last guest, Jim Loomis? How are you different than him? I know that Xantar, if I slow down enough to go backwards, I come to understand that that's somehow involved with a man in the trees from a different era. Actually, Tarzan, is that right?
Yes, that's the origin of the name Xantar. I was performing a wedding in which we dove off the King's Pool cliffs.
Wow.
And a former student said, wait, you came from civilization to the jungle. You're a backwards Tarzan. You are Xantar. Hail, Xantar. And we jumped off, and that's how I became Xantar. Yes.
Well, what were you doing you did that in the pools and jumping in the pools, but you also diving in the ocean with dolphins? How did that come about?
Yes, when I would row to Catalina every summer, in the summer of '55, there was the last World Spear Fishing Championship, where people would come from all around the world and spear and the local fish, and America had decided we're never going to support this again. This is the last opportunity. If you want to see America is not going to sponsor such a thing that wipes out the old fish that keep the vile spear vital.
So they decided to stop spearfishing and start using nets and get them all.
Yeah.
How ridiculous!
Right, things like that. And during that time, there was an anchor dragged out to sea in a storm that was 108 feet deep, and I swam down and attached the line to it so it could be salvaged, and that's how I became the deep diver of Catalina.
Wow. When dolphins weren't there, though, that was a different episode.
Oh yeah, but the dolphins would come by every day, and I was at the Isthmus of Catalina and Emerald Bay, and they would come by. So they were my mentors, and just swimming with them every daily, and showing them how deep I could go. And there were lots of deep divers from around the world that must have stunned the dolphins, because they came in to where they're usually leaping and playing. They saw all these people at depth and stopped and just coasted, and I went, wow, this is going to be some part of my future.
Wow.
I had gone, there's in place in Palos Verdes called the Glass Church.
They're in Palos Verdes, California Peninsula, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a Sea World about a half a mile away, and I had gone to see their performance, what was happening, and at one point you heard dolphins imitating humans, doing really a good job, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and I raced downstairs to meet the dolphin trainer. His name was Chuck Loomis, the same as mine, and I felt like, oh, this is going to be big in my life somehow. Wow. And it turned out to be. And then John Lilly wrote the book Man and Dolphin in the 60s, living in St. Thomas and having a dolphin live with them, swimming around on the floor. And so we became friends. I'm in his book called The Possibility of Communicating with Other Species, and for many years. And so when he came over to Maui, he walked down to visit me in my redoubts, and then in this beautiful natural place. I had the first piece of land that I bought was a pretty much a picture what was on page 72 of the Loomis family in America. It was the most complete genealogy in America at the time. Wow. But this and the place that you see on there, very much like Downton Abbey, shows a cliff where the river turns and would flood the encircled land opposite. That would make it very fertile. And so I was always been looking for that situation where I could have fertile land, and I could, and it really, you could see the writer and the painter of the picture, which is in England, Essex, and you could see that they were in love with every stone in the pools and the depth of the pools. And so I found this my first place that has deep pools, waterfalls.
It was a great spot. It still is. It's a great spot.
Yeah.
So I forgot. Zen's going to go back and, you think, get married there? That's what he wants to do now?
Yes. Yes, he has a wonderful wife-to-be, Amanda.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't believe that all those years ago, when he was 1 year old, I mean, that to me says so much. You know, so much has happened since then in my life. In your life, I haven't really been tracking it. When I looked at Facebook and I thought, United Species, that's got to be Jim Loomis. Tell us more about what you're doing now. I mean, this all ties together in just an incredible life you've been living.
Yes, I taught a course at the university here that I called Sacred Geometry of the Holoverse. And during that time, the last day of the class, I dismissed the class, and a guy stands up and says, "Everybody sit down." And a couple people just sprinted out of the room thinking, uh-oh, trouble, postal rage or something was going on. And he says, "I just flew 2,500 miles to see if this man would dare reveal the secrets of the brotherhood. He has." And then he went on to talk about himself, that he is the new tribal chief following his mother's death of the land that surrounds Palm Springs. And for many years I had gone out to this Nature Boy colony where the guy that wrote Nature Boy, Eden Abez, would come, and so he taught me to play the uke, and I sang the song all over the world. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very was he. And then one day, that magic day, he came my way. And as we talked of many things, cool fools and kings, this he said to me: "The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return." And so I've kind of taken that inspiration of Eden Abez around the world as best I could.
Well, just even in your delivery now and how much it still moves you.
Yes.
Is your genuine, your beingness is infectious.
Yeah.
Your genuine loving and caring for everyone and all species. So what is United Species? Is it a group? Is it something we all pledge our awareness of or support of?
It is chapter 41 in the book.
Okay. So maybe we should let people get it and find more in the book. But it's UnitedSpecies.org. Is that you have an email even there?
Yes. Loomis at UnitedSpecies.org. If you want to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people know about the United States, which is pretty disunited. It was 11 countries that were warring with one another. So the United States was never very united, but and then there's another place called the United Nations, and they've had a little trouble too.
Yeah.
And we're right in the middle of seemingly an autocrat taking over democracy or making his move. And every day I have been watching TV. I've never had a TV before, but now I feel like this is a very high drama every day as it goes back and forth. And anyway.
No, I think that it's even more significant hearing it from you in this way. It's drama.
Yeah,
What do you think is driving him? Have you been?
Well, I think that the deeper thing is the what is the name of the guy that owns Fox News?
Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah. Recently, we learned that it's just him following the money, and that's kind of what has happened. Is even things like United. Citizens United. There's nothing about uniting citizens there. It's united corporations, and so we're in the middle of a apparent attempt of taking over.
Of a takeover by a very specific, moneyed, selfish group.
Yeah.
But we're up for the task, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We are up for the task, and more people like yourself and the leadership that you've been able to, just your beingness, that to me is where your leadership is. Just being you is inspirational to many in our community and a world. I'm real glad to be here and talk about your book, because everything about you, I think I start to get a little like a babbling kid, but you're just a wonderful guy, I remember the first time you said to me, sing that one again. Well, you were encouraging me to sing We Are the World.
Oh, yes. Let's do it. I mean, I want to hear it.
Well, I have a bit of a cold today, but I'll give you want to hear a little bit?
Yes, I do. I'd love it.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call and the world comes together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are part of God's great big family, and the truth, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones that make a better day. So let's start living and giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. That is a song for all ages. So long ago it was written and created with an inspiration that we still hold in our hearts.
We do, and where were you when you first heard that song?
Oh boy, I was in Hollywood, actually. I was in the music business, of all things, and I thought that was a really wonderful thing for these guys to be coming out with a song. USA for Africa. And then they did another one. Ken Cragen, the guy who organized it all, was a manager for a few people that we all know. Neil. Anyway, we can go off into a tangent here, but that inspiration. Where were you when they first heard "We Are the World"? You were here in Maui already?
Yes. I was over in Sprecklesville. And I heard the song, and okay, so I broke down into tears that they got it so right the first time.
Yeah.
And
we still are here to carry that flag.
Yes.
And to share the message so that someone like Mr. T, I shouldn't say Mr. T anymore, I insult that poor nice guy that played the part, Mr. T, Mr. Trump, and whatever his intentions are, can't take a hold when we all are together, united in loving and helping each other.
Yeah.
You're right. I think they got it right. So I always feel good. Whenever I see you, I think of that song. Whenever I think of that song or sing that song, I think of you.
Wow.
And it always inspires me, Jim.
Well, you have always inspired me, Jason. You're just a wonderful, beautiful man to be with and to look at, and everything about you and your wonderful woman.
Yeah.
Are
I know. I've been with Ariel now. This is 25 years, so maybe not a lot to some, but 25 years is a lot of time for me. I ran for mayor 25 years ago as the Green Party guy.
Yeah.
What a different Maui would be if I was sitting in the driver's seat, huh? But we're still here, and government is only, I think, they should be doing the things that we want and the things that we can do in private sector that the government can say, hey, that's a good idea. Let's see, here's how we can help you make it better. That's government to me.
Yes. Yes, I came over with in '69 with a little map from Mother Jones, how they were seeking 100 acres and how they would use it, and so I had that in mind, and for a while I thought I might go to the Seychelles because there was a 500-acre coconut plantation for sale for $50,000, and
wow.
My mom was had just died and left my sister and I a 6-unit apartment house, and so I thought, well, maybe I can do this, and so I came over to Maui, flew into
Kaului here.
No, I came into the Big Island.
Okay.
Not Kona, but Hilo, and went to the university there and said, I'd like to teach half-time in artificial intelligence if it's not too far from Kealakekua Bay. Because what is that beautiful little song there? Kealakekua.
I want to come back to my little grass shack
in Kealakekua, Hawaii. I want to
I was thinking of where the humu humu
yes, Hop goes swimming by. Yes.
Well, we sure had a stilted view of Hawaii then, didn't we?
Yes, it was a little. Yeah, and simple. I think like when I was born, there were 2 billion people on the earth, and now there's about 4 times that much. And I read a book called Overshoot, and one of my friends read some of the preface to me the other day, and he said, "Oh shoot, it's over." Overshoot. I thought that was a pretty much.
Well, we will see. You know, when you overshoot, there's only one thing I know, and that's somehow those people don't, continue. I mean, the changes that are happening.
Yeah.
Seems like the world is the world itself is saying too much. Everything we're doing is gonna get those numbers down to something that will survive. But sorry, we're part of that over group.
Yeah, but I'm hoping, because we're almost feeding everybody at almost 8 billion, and so I don't think anybody would predict at that time that we were going to be able to feed this many people. But now,
Yeah, well, we'll see where the future grows. I think that self-sustainability, to be able to feed yourself as a group or as an island.
Yes.
Because we can feed all those people, but it becomes a matter of if everyone has love and helping each other as part of their mantra, so that all aspects of our life get fed and we can live in peace in some way.
Yes.
Maintain something better than it is now.
Yes, and I when I dropped out of my PhD, I went to all of my professors and said, I really love what you're doing, and I'm going to be following you from the outside and try to contribute to the scene, to your field. And during my PhD, I was in a 4-story place called the Mental Health Research Institute in Ann Arbor, and the top floor was all the people involving the UN and conflict resolution.
Well, we're going to, believe it or not, Jim, we are only 45 seconds from the end of the show. We've just been talking. I hope you'll come back and please be here with me again.
I'd love to.
We'd love to have you back. Everyone, I don't guess you know, this is Jim Loomis. I'm Jason Schwartz. An hour just went by. It was just like amazing. Jim, thank you for joining us here. It's been a pleasure. I hope you'll be here again. You are the best. I have nothing but superlatives when I say
I feel the same for you, Mr. Schwartz.
Mr. Loomis, it's been a pleasure. We will see you again, and we'll see you again here at the Neutral Zone. Check out MauiNeutralZone.com and see it again. Aloha, everyone.